Well, good morning, or should I say good evening. For most of you, it's evening. For me, it is my morning. It's 8 o'clock, and it's time for another Shop Talk, Tuesday, May the 12th. How's everybody doing? Gonna wait for a minute for some people to show up. I think some people are gonna show up today. I'm confident. Have quite a bit of information that I want to go over, and I don't know where to start. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna use that camera because it likes to freeze up on me. And see, like right now, it just came back. It froze up a minute, comes right back. I don't know. I got to find out, why is my stuff freezing up Ecamm live? That's pretty frustrating. Anyway, I am Music Man, and I love cars. I think I have an addiction to cars. I can't explain it, but I can't seem to buy something and then just be 100% happy with it. And I think that's just, I don't know. I think part of that is being a guy. And the other part of that is just being curious, you know what I mean? So, like, I've gone all these years, wanted a muscle car, wanted a Corvette, and I have them both. But it seems like I just keep wanting more and more and more. So, I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, this is Shop Talk, and we are live. And I am in hopes that eventually I will have, 10, 15 people at least on here watching on the regular. I have several other YouTube channels that I absolutely love to watch, and I don't watch them all the time because I have stuff going on, and I get that. But I also like to watch these other channels for information. Now, I have a friend that I call him a friend. We've never actually met yet, but I want to. He's got over almost 100,000 subscribers, and even on his show, he's got him and two other co-hosts, and sometimes they only have a couple hundred people actually watching. So that's a lot. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But I only have 650 subscribers, so for me to get 5 or 10 would be pretty cool. And one of the things that I'm concerned about, and I tried to do the best I can, is to give you information. I don't like to give you false information, but I do like to give information, or what I find or I think is perceived to be good information. I need that Monster drink to wake up because I have to go to work here in a little bit and work another 13-hour day. Recently, I've had people ask me, "Oh my goodness, dude, are you selling drugs, or what are you doing?" No, I work 10, 12 hours a day to pay for what I have. And so that's why I keep buying what I want, because I work hard. And I know some of you understand that, some of you don't. I'm also single, so I don't have to worry about kids' diapers and, kids playing baseball and taking them to the hockey game and all that stuff. I don't have any of that going on in my life, and I'm okay with that. So I can do what I want, and that is cars. So that's what I'm doing, cars. Now, I have been really particular about where I get my information. And that's the first thing I want to talk about tonight. Now, later, if you stick around, I want to talk about some Corvette stuff, some news for the 27. Pretty excited about that. But first, I want to cover a couple of other things, if that's all right. So, first of all, I want to talk about where I get my information. I used to think that it was kind of cheating to get information from other people that do what I do, like Brink of Speed and Rick Corvette Conti from Ohio. But I'm finding out that I guess what I want to say is the bigger people with this information share the information amongst themselves, and they're okay with it. So I basically would, you see all kinds of stuff on the internet. You don't know if it's true or false. And I was really strict on myself about making sure that my information that I was giving you came from GM authority. Now, I'm going to just be completely 100% transparent with you. I found out that GM authority is not actually GM authority. It's not somebody that works at GM. It's not somebody that has the inside scoop. It's basically a person that named his vlog or blog or whatever you want to call it. He named it GM authority to make it sound as if he was the authority on GM information. And I have literally been flabbergasted and blown away by finding out that that's not the truth. Sometimes the information that comes from GM authority isn't from GM directly. It's from him talking to or hearing about information from other places. Now, the other places that he's hearing it from is Corvette Blogger and Corvette Today. So I decided, why should I sit around and wait for later information to come from GM authority, which is literally just another guy doing what I do, when I can hear it straight from Corvette Blogger and Corvette Today? Like, from what I understand, Corvette Today is the number one and only Corvette podcast in the country, and it's huge. And I started recently listening to them. And again, sometimes I don't have time to watch or listen to every single thing they put out every single day, because I do have a lot going on like everybody else. But I have decided to I'm going to stop getting secondhand information from a third party, Corvette or GM authority. I'm going to start listening and watching, from what I understand, earlier information from these other places. Now, I also have 100% confidence in Rick Conti in Ohio, because this guy he's been basically doing information about Corvettes and selling Corvettes for a long time. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And even when you do that, you're going to get negative feedback, and you're going to find out that people are losing their mind. Corvette Blogger, you're too slow. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. That's all right. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just maybe I'll just kind of try to do what I can from all three different places. But anyway, I'm going to move forward with that information from like Corvette Blogger and Corvette Today, and so with that being said, I want to go into the next thing, and that is the other day I got on Chevy.com and I began to like look at building a 2027 Corvette. As most of you know, I have done that. I did that several years ago, even with the Camaro. I found out that you can go on Chevy.com and build a car. You can spec it out. You can, create a convertible or a coupe. You pick whatever trim level you want. You pick whatever extra bells and whistles they have available. You put that all on your car, and you basically build a car. Now, I did actually do that back in at the end of 23 for the 2024 season when they were closing out the Camaro. And as most of you know, maybe you don't know, I started off with a 23 LT1 convertible. Found out real quick that I didn't really want the ragtop convertible. And I also found out from another YouTube channel that they were going to discontinue the Camaro and they're going to start making the collector's edition. And I went on a hunt to get a collector's edition. We all know the end of that story. I got one. I sold it. I've had, a couple of other Camaros since then. So with that being said, I have also been building and creating Corvettes on Chevy.com for that amount of time as well. And the thing of it is like right now it's a little frustrating because I went to Michelin Bash down in Bowling Green, Kentucky a couple weeks back, as I mentioned before, and I got to see firsthand the brand new 6.7 liter LS6 V8. I got to see firsthand the Grand Sport, and I got to see firsthand the new colors, the Admiral Blue and the Pitch Gray, and my eyes were like, what? And again, I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. I'm 59. I have been going through my mind where I'm going to have a C7 and a 2011 Camaro, and I'm going to enjoy it and have fun. And then when I retire, I'm going to order a C8. Well, I don't know, because what happens if in 4 years, 5 years when I retire, if something happens between now and then and I'm not able to even drive a C8. I went to Bud's Cruising over in St. Mary's last weekend, and I saw literally a ton of older people getting in and out of their C8. And there was one couple that they pulled in the parking lot and sat there. And I said, are you guys going to get out and walk around? And they're like, well, we got a bad hip. And I'm not waiting for that. I'm not going to wait for that. And so I came home and I'm like, I've been building cars on Chevy.com. And so with that being said, I came home and I put a phone call into my dealer. And, my dealer is Lakeside Chevrolet in Warsaw, Indiana. I do a walkthrough with them about once a month. I've been doing that for over a year. I get to go over there and see all the cars that they have on the floor at the time that they have them. And, it's kind of funny because somebody just hit the thumbs down button. Why? I just have to laugh. Like, it doesn't even show that I have people on here, but somebody hit the thumbs down button. That's all right. You don't like what I'm saying, then you don't have to watch. But anyway, let's move on from that. You're going to have people that don't like what you say or do, haters, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, don't like it, don't watch it. Now, moving right along. I called my dealership today, and I didn't talk to my salesman. I talked to the manager of Lakeside Chevrolet. His name is Andy. Guy is 100% solid dude. Like, he's the guy that let me drive the 2026 Roswell Green convertible that had like 4 miles on it or 6 miles or something crazy like that. He let me take it out for a drive, knowing that I wasn't planning on buying it. He knew I was doing it for my channel. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. It's on my channel. Great car. More car than I would ever want or need or want to afford. But with that being said, now the 26s are coming out. And so I called them up and I'm like, look, dude, why is it that the configurator on the internet isn't live? Like they said, I've read it again from other places that post information that Chevy.com was supposed to make their configurator live in April. And here it is May the 12th, and it's not live. And also, where are the prices? Like, what are the prices for the new platform, the new 27? Again, everybody seems to have the information or have access to the information, but for whatever reason, I can't find it. Like, maybe it's because I don't have a good enough connection. I don't know. I need to get more people connections so that I can get information quicker, because I feel like that's what being a YouTuber is, getting information quickly. So, I called him up and I asked him some questions, and I'm like, dude, first of all, how do you get allocations? And he's explained to me that he gets allocations at the dealership based on the selling of new cars. So if he has 326s on the floor and he sells those 326s, then GM can see that he is selling what he has, and they give him allocations for a 27. And if he has a Z06, 26 Z06, and he sells that car, then he gets an allocation for a Z06 27 model. And they only get those allocations once a month, I understand, and sometimes it's twice a month. So it depends. Most of the time it's once a month. And I'm like, okay, so how soon are you going to be able to turn in an order for a new 27? And he said, well, it could be a month. It could be 2 months. But he said, then I don't know if I'll get allocations for a Stingray, or if I'll get allocations for a Z06, or if I'll get an allocation for a Grand Sport. It just depends. And from what I understand, they're not giving any allocations yet for the ZR or the Grand Sport X yet, because they aren't prepared yet to start lining those up. He did, however, say that he got an allocation for a Grand Sport already, which is pretty cool. So I asked him, what are the current constraints? Because sometimes they have constraints, like you can order a 27, but you can't get one with the Z51 package because we don't have Brembo brakes right now. We have a constraint on that. I'm not saying that's what's going on. I'm saying that's that's what a constraint is. We can't build the car because we don't have the parts to make the car. So if you put an order in, you basically are at the you're waiting for Chevy to say, okay, we have the stuff that we need to make the car that your customer ordered, right? And now we're going to start building the car. And going back to that, the first week of June, I know that the plant is shut down for the whole week so that they can get prepared for the new model year of the 27. And then they're going to supposedly start production of the 27 in the middle of June sometime. Now, this is already the 12th of May, so we're talking about a month away. They're going to start possibly making the 27. All right? And it could be 2 months after that before they, Lakeside gets the allocations to build or order a car for a customer. Now, the thing is, if you get on the configurator right now, there are around 5,000 cars, 2026s and 2025s, that are still left over from production. Now, some of them are in transit for customers, and some of them are just purchased by the dealer, and they're in transit, they're waiting for that car to come in, and it's going to be available for sale when it gets there. But they still have inventory left over from 26. So a lot of people, what they're doing is they're going out and they're making these great deals on the brand new car. I mean, a 26 is brand new, right? A 25 is brand new. Over at Bud Chevrolet last weekend, they still had a 2025 E-Ray on the ground. It was beautiful. Rapid blue, amazing. They have like $8,000 off the price of it. And they also have an incentive that if you own a Corvette or a Camaro, they have a loyalty program. They'll give you another $4,000 off of that. If you can show proof that you have a Camaro or a Corvette. And they're still running that special on the 25. Now, I know they were doing that earlier in the year, and I thought it was supposed to be over in February, but they have extended that because they're trying to move those cars off the lot to make room for the 27s. Now, for me, why would I order a 26? First of all, they're almost done making them for 26. If I was going to order one, it would be a 2027. So I talked to the dealership today. I'm not saying that I ordered one, but I am thinking about it. And I'm like, why wait? I mean, I want one. I drive around in my C7. It's a blast. But I am struggling a little bit with it being 11 years old with the older technology. Now, I had a friend tell me it's hard to go backwards in technology. I had a 23 Camaro. The technology was current and up to date. Now they've made the Corvette even better in 25. They changed the interior in 26. Now they're making a bigger motor in 27. And the technology just keeps getting better and better, and they're making it more amazing. So there are a lot of people out there that when they buy it, they want the biggest and best and fastest and the most expensive thing they can buy because they can. I can't do that. Like, I'm restricted. I have to, I know what my responsibilities are. I know that I have responsibilities at home, and I know what I can afford. I can afford a Stingray, but I can't really afford anything more than that. I know that you probably don't care about what I can and can't afford, but that's where we're going with this. And so I got this information from Rick Conti. I'll tell you that right off the bat, so that I'm not trying to act like I found out from, like the president of GM didn't send me an email to tell me this. I got the information from, Rick Conti. So the Stars and Steel edition, now I did coverage of that when I was at the Michelin Bash. And keep in mind, I'm actually learning this as I go. And I saw these cars, and I didn't really realize what they were until I did the research, until I asked questions, until I talked to people. And there was an engineer out on the front patio, and he explained to me. I went home, back to the hotel. I did research on it, and now I understand it. So, again, I don't know everything, and I don't claim to, but the Stars and Steel Edition is a special car that GM is making for 2026 to celebrate America's 250th birthday. When I was at Bash, I was to the understanding that they were only going to make the Stars and Steel in the Z06 and the ZR1 platform, and that they're only going to make 250 of those cars. I was wrong again. How about that? I was wrong again. I got these numbers from Rick Conti. And by the way, I met Rick Conti at the Michelin Bash, and I've talked to him since then several times. So the information that I got from Rick Conti is that they are making 99 Stingrays, they're making 50 E-Rays, 51 Z06, 25 ZR1s, and 25 ZR1X. That makes 250 cars. That's all they're making. Now, these cars are extremely rare. They're numbered. There's only going to be 250, so they're going to be high in demand for those people that love to collect cars. Now, for some reason, let's see. All right, so he also has the ability to get information that I can't seem to find. And he has had the price list. So I'm just basing everything off of what this information is that I got from him. And his information says that the 2027 Corvette Stingray Coupe is going to be $73,495. The Grand Sport Coupe is $88,495. The Grand Sport X Coupe is $112,195. The Z06 Coupe is $119,195. The ZR1 is $197,195, and the ZR1X is $227,395. So that is that's basically where I wanted to start with, is by going off of that price list, because those are numbers that I can handle. Because basically the Stingray, now again, that is the 1LT package. So a Stingray Coupe is $73,495, 1LT. And I've always said that if and when I order a brand new Corvette, I will order a 2LT. Now, the 2LT is only a few $1,000s more, and you get quite a bit more stuff. And prior to 27, there were other things that came on the 2LT that I would require on my car. Like, for instance, one of those is the NPP exhaust. Now, we all know that NPP is the exhaust that opens up and allows the car to breathe from the factory. And another announcement that GM has actually made is that starting in 2027, it is no longer an option. The NPP exhaust is going to come on every car. They're just going to put that on every car, whether it's a 1LT or 1LZ, 2LT. Like, literally, they had more cars that they were making with it than they were making without it. So they just decided to go ahead and put the NPP exhaust on every platform, which is pretty good because whenever you see a price, you know that that's included in the price. The 2LT, it for me was one of the other things was the performance data recorder. I don't race my car every weekend, but when I do take it to the track, I want to be able to record what I'm doing and how it's going without worrying about a camera or anything like that. You just turn it on, you go drive your car. When you get back home, you take the SD card out, you put it in your computer, and you see what you did. Or you can actually watch it in your car if you can't wait till you get home. So the 2LT package is something that comes with the performance data recorder, and I insisted on, if I'm going to spend that much money, then I'm going to get a performance data recorder. Now, with that being said, like the amount of money that they're asking for a brand new 2027 Corvette 1LT at 73.5, let's call it 73.5. If you add $4,000, that's 77.5, 76.5 or 78.5, whatever it is. It's still under 80,000. So why would I go out and buy a car that somebody else bought, put 5 or 10,000 miles on it? Why would I go buy that car for 80 grand and not have a warranty and not be able to go through the experience of ordering it, watching the order be built, and then going and taking delivery of it in person from the car that I designed, a car that I picked the color, a car that I set up? There is a little bit of regret in me because I did that with a Camaro at the end of 23. I built the 2SS Riptide Blue 1LE. They accepted my order. It was exciting getting that email. The salesman called me and said they accepted your order. It's a matter of waiting. Every stage that they went through, they sent me an email. Okay, your car's in the process of being built. Now your car is done. It's on the lot. Now your car is in transit. They sent me an email at each stage like that. And then it's now ready for pickup at your dealership. My salesman called me on the phone and said, "Hey, dude, your car's ready. Are you going to take it?" And by then I had purchased a collector's edition Camaro. So I backed out. I said, no, I'm going to pass. I kind of regret that because I would have liked the opportunity to see it all the way through, see the process all the way through. And I backed out. So anyway, with that being said, it's exciting to think about the possibility of me doing that with the Corvette. Now, I was going to wait until I retired, but why? Why do that? Why not go ahead and just do it? And, it doesn't matter what people think about what I have or what I drive. What matters is what makes me happy. And trust me, I love my C7. Trust me, I love my 2011 Synergy Green. But I also want a brand new C8. And so that's where I'm at. Like, I'm just going to be vulnerable with you and transparent with you and just basically tell you that's where I'm at. Is it going to happen? I don't know, but we'll see. And if you watch my channel, if you watch this video, then you know. If you don't watch it, then you don't know, I guess, right? And so we're just gonna go from there. I asked the dealership, what does it require to make an order? He said, you bring in the build that you want. We put it into the computer. You give us a $500 deposit showing that you're serious. And we make your order. And then in several months, he said probably August, September, if you order the car, and everything goes as planned, they accept your order, they build your car, they deliver it to us. You could be picking up your brand new 27 in September. If for some reason you decide between now and then you don't want it, it's not a big deal. I won't have a problem selling a brand new 27 C8. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now, the other thing is, let's move on to what I did last weekend. I went over to another Corvette show at Bud Chevrolet in St. Mary's, Ohio. I love that dealership. The people over there are fantastic. I've done many videos at that store. They're on my channel. I did a video last year on their cruise-in. They had over 700 cars. This year wasn't as busy as it was last year. Now, this was a 36-year anniversary. Last year was the 35-year anniversary. I'm thinking maybe 35 was more of a celebratory anniversary than 36. That's why more people showed, plus it was nicer out. I went over there again this year. It was a fantastic show. It was nice. It was probably in the low 60s, partly sunny. I have a video coming out soon on that show. And while I was there, I ran into some people from Fort Wayne. Actually passed them when they were at the gas station about 15 miles before we got to Bud's. They were filling up with gas, but the Fort Wayne Corvette Club invited me to be a member. That's pretty cool, right? So I am probably going to go to their meeting next month. I missed the May meeting. I'm probably planning on going to the June meeting if I can remember when it is and don't sleep through it because it's, for me it's early morning. So that's pretty exciting that I got an invitation for to be a part of the Fort Wayne Corvette Club. Now, moving on to some other things that I want to talk about real quick about the Corvette, the new Corvette. Now, I don't have names. I'm not as good as some people are with dropping names and knowing who these people are. I'm still learning who they are. But my friend last week on Brink of Speed, Mike, talked about this, and I wanted to go ahead and pass it along to my viewers. And that is, there are a couple of things about the new motor that's going to really upset some people. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of one of them. But I'm like, they had active fuel management and auto start stop in cars up to 26. And then they started changing the laws because of who the current administration is in the presidency. They started getting rid of some of the ridiculous things like mandatory electric cars and mandatory this and mandatory that. And a lot of people were, including myself, were excited about the possibility of GM completely doing away with active fuel management. And at one of the seminars that I missed at Corvette Bash, a couple of the engineers were asked the question, are they going to do away with AFM, or active fuel management? Are they going to do away with the auto start stop button for the motor? And according to those people, they basically said, in essence, they are not getting rid of it because of emissions and because of fuel economy, and everybody's still preaching on efficiency and fuel economy. Now, as a performance motor guy, or somebody that's had some performance motors and working with my local speed shop here in Fort Wayne, Bumper Wilson Tuning, the only place I will ever take my Chevy, he has explained to me that it's not good. The internal parts in the motor, half of them aren't as adequate as the other half. The half that shuts down, the parts aren't as good as the parts that run all the time. So for instance, if you have an 8-cylinder and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 3, 5, and 7 shut off when it goes into 4 mode, that means 2, 4, 6, and 8 is running at all times. Well, the internal motor parts for these 4 cylinders is better than the internal motor parts for these. The push rods, the lifters, everything is better for the 4 that run at all times. So the first thing you do is you shut that off. For one, you shut it off, turn it off in the computer. It's called a DOD, or displacement on demand. You shut that off in the computer. And really, to make it better, you go in and you fix the 4 cylinders that have less than adequate parts. And everybody was in hopes that they were going to do away with that. It's a performance car. If you want to do that in the Chevy Silverado, you want to do that in the Buick Enclave, whatever, go ahead and do that. But don't do that in a performance motor. But GM has apparently not listened to us when it comes to that, and they basically said, we're not going to do that. We're going to include that because of fuel economy and fuel efficiency and EPA and all these other regulations that they have to go by when they build a car. So I wanted to go over that with you. That's probably kind of disappointing. I know it is a little bit to me, but what can you do? Like, there's really nothing you can do about it. That's the decision that they've made. So those are the things that I wanted to go over with you on. And I was actually going to go into the configurator today and kind of build a Corvette, to show you how that works. But I am running a little bit over on my time. And so I think maybe I'll wait for another week for that, to do that. And in the meantime, I'm waiting with bated breath for when they make that live for the 2027 year, because as soon as that goes live, I'll be able to go on and possibly build the Stingray that Music Man might get. So again, those are a lot of mights and maybes. I can't get on here and with 100% confidence say I'm going to order one. I can't get on here and say that it will in fact happen, because I'm not in a position to say that and guarantee it. Like some people are, I'm not. So it is my hope and my dream. Whether it happens this year, it'll happen sometime. And I just wanted to include it all with you guys and let you know that that's kind of what's going on behind the scenes with me. Yeah, so those are the things that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. It apparently, not very many people showed up, and that's okay. Again, I hope you watch this, even if you don't have the time to watch it when it's live. Maybe you can go back and watch it when you have time. So I appreciate everybody hanging out with me today on Shop Talk, and I hope that this provides information that helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If I said or did something that you don't like and you think I'm stupid, leave that comment also, and I'll do the best I can to reply to it. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Shop Talk. I will see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today is the 26th of May, and then we are going to be even further into the beginning of car season. I'm pretty excited about that. And I wanted to go over this stuff with you. I hope it gives you some information. And from Music Man, thank you for hanging out with me today on Shop Talk. I'm out.